this is Comic Uno in Comic Uno episode 33, and we are starting Comic Uno episode on Comic Frontline this week. Very excited for that. Made a lot of updates on my channel, even made an update on Dark Avengering. So be sure to subscribe to Comic Frontline if you want to continue seeing this series and all my other series on Comic Frontline. But let's start with Comic Uno episode 33, and this is a show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show, and we have 16 comics this week, a lot of digital, a lot of indie, and a lot of printed also. So let's get started. What was my number 16, my worst pick of the week, which I actually changed during the middle of all my reviews, because I was really thinking about it once I was reviewing it, and I was like, yeah, this is actually my worst pick of the week, even though both these issues aren't that great, the next one coming up, but this is my worst pick of the week. Yeah, the last issue, Damian Son of Batman. Why is this my worst pick of the week? Really thinking about it, a lot of things just didn't get accomplished in this issue. And that's one thing, again, as I was doing the review, I thought about. And I was like, whoa, who was the priest? Who was the Joker? Did Bruce accept Damian? Like, nothing really got accomplished here. It felt like we should have an issue 5 for, like, the fallout of Damian, Son of Batman. Because this, I just felt like as a last issue, didn't accomplish much. It was corny. It was just a lot of fighting, and that's it. You know, the art was good. Like the art. Again, still love that classic feel of this paper. One of the great things about Damian Son of Batman. Dialogue was okay. I thought the dialogue was better with issue 1 and 2. But the silliness of these stupid apes, of the second generation Joker, I couldn't take it. And again, the revelations of not having any really disappointed me. So I gotta give this 2 stars. I just didn't like it. Just a big disappointment for me. Most of this issue is just fighting these cornball type characters, and in the end, you won't find out things that you had questions about. So honestly, I wouldn't pick this up, even if you were picking on Damian Son of Batman. There's not any revelations, so I'm gonna give that 2 stars. My worst pick of the week. Number 15 is Inhumanity issue 2, my original worst pick of the week. Yeah, this wasn't horrible as it was Damian Son of Batman. I just couldn't get into it. For me, I'm still picking up Inhumans. I've been actually really liking the story arc and a lot of the issues I picked up with Inhumans. I'm really rooting for this story arc in general. But this was just supposed to be called Inhumanity Medusa, and I understand that because it's mostly Medusa. There's not a lot that gets accomplished here. It's mostly learning, oh yeah, Medusa's a queen. She's upset because of all this happening and her son was stolen and all the royal family's children have been stolen. So we get that, we learn about that, but a lot of the things that we learned in other issues are just here in a big wordy, not mess, but it's just very wordy, this issue, for things not really getting accomplished. Because I don't mind wordy issues if it's really tense, you're like, oh my god, I need more. I don't mind wordy issues, but this is just wordy and didn't really accomplish much. We just know Medusa's sad. We could insinuate Medusa's sad. And the art fit here, actually. I'm not a humongous Bradshaw fan, but I thought the art fit this series very well. So I'm going to give this 2.5 stars. Not a horrible issue, just wasn't my thing, and I was a little bored with it. So that's number 15. Now we're up to number 14, and that is Superman, issue 27. You guys are probably asking, you never get Superman, Cat. Why did you get it this week? Honestly, I've been trying to get not random issues, but I've been trying to get into more series, you know, and Superman's plot summary sounded interesting. You know, Lois has these powers, and I was like, oh, cool. Why not pick it up? And I thought this was an okay issue. It's more of A to B issue. Superman tries to go defeat Parasite. Parasite wants Lois Lane. And that's it in this issue. And Lois's boyfriend tries to save Lois, like, oh, what's actually going on here? Lois still has these powers, and honestly, I think you ought to read previous issues to find out how she got these powers. And Lois seems not to know Clark's identity when she previously did. But maybe because her boyfriend was right there, so Clark's like, yes, Lois does not know my identity, but I gotta figure out if Parasite knows my identity. First of all, if Lois did know your identity, don't you think she would be like, yes, Superman, yes, thank you for saving me. I don't think she was saying in front of her boyfriend, you're Clark Kent. So I don't really like that ending, saying that Clark Kent's real, you know, Superman's just saying, yeah, she doesn't know my secret identity. That's definitely true. If Lois Lane's truly his best friend, I don't think she would do that. She wouldn't betray him. So I thought that was kind of a stupid ending, wrapping that all up. Because I don't even think that's true. I think Lois could still know his identity, and I would rather that in the end anyways. The art's okay in this issue. I just read better Superman series, and this is the Superman series. I just think Superman and Wonder Woman was better, and there's actually a lot of reference to Superman and Wonder Woman in this issue, the series. So yeah, I gotta give it 3 stars. It wasn't bad, but definitely did not lead me to want to buy the next issue. I'm very surprised I even bought that, but I gave it a chance. Alright, this is the next issue that I got digitally, so I don't have the comic with me, and that is Serenity, issue 1. I think this is definitely one of the most anticipated books of the week because we have a lot of brown coat fans out there. So for me, I did watch Firefly like 5 years ago. I watched Serenity about 5 years ago. I haven't watched it again. You know, it was a good series, but it's more of a once type thing, or maybe like someone wants to really watch it, I'll be like, oh cool, let's watch Firefly. Because I do have a lot of friends that like Firefly too, but I don't think I would actually be like, oh, let me pop in that DVD for Firefly. So as you can see, like I like Firefly, but I'm not a hardcore Firefly fan. And with this issue, I thought it was good, but a little less new reader friendly. And for me, like I noticed that just because I don't know as much Firefly as I wish I did, and I forgot a couple of names and stuff here and there, so, and I'm reading it, and it's like, oh cool, I got the gist of it, like I feel that western sci-fi thing that we love about Firefly, but the beginning was more talking about like what's going on with Firefly, but a lot of same thing over and over again, where it'd be like, yes, they are rebels, they should be arrested, but not, I think they could have used those pages to describe who are these people, and they didn't really do that. I think this could have been a little bit more new reader friendly. The ending was good. I liked when they actually saw the Firefly cast, but I think you have to be a really true Firefly fan to really love this series, and I'm glad that it's here. I don't think I'll pick up issue 2, but it was okay. Nothing too special for me, but I'm going to give it 3 stars. I thought it was an okay issue. Next is The Green Team, issue 8. The actual last issue of Green Team. I think I might be the only one reading it. I think everyone dropped it, but when I heard the series was getting canceled, I was still reading it. So I was like, let me just read the whole issue, and because that way I have the whole series, that way I have the whole collection. So let's see. I have it on Comixology, so I'm gonna get that for you guys. Get the cover. Let's see. I'm gonna get that. Here we go. Don't you hate it? It takes so long to get these. Alright, here's the cover for the Green Team, and he fights, you know, Commando, the main character, he fights his father, and his father is this big clone guy, you know, other people have powers, which his Fire Girl doesn't even exist. The girl on the cover, she doesn't even exist, so I don't know why she was a Fire Girl here. But yeah, they defeat him, and he actually collapsed a whole building on him in this issue, and everyone's happy. He's like, oh, but what do we do? No one's gonna trust us, or who's gonna trust the Green Team? And we don't really have a life right now. So they want to buy the Teen Titans name. And that's what happens in the end of this issue. And I feel like that's the most talked about thing for this series. Because a lot of people are saying, will this actually continue in the Teen Titans series? And this is something actually to talk about. Because the Teen Titans, you see in future issues, they're not going to have to deal with this in the future issues. But once it gets canceled, will they make a Young Justice series, and then maybe a new Teen Titans series, or just Teen Titans series for the Green Team, but the Green Team didn't sell, so would they really give them a whole series and a whole new Teen Titans? I don't know. I think the characters are interesting enough to get their own series as Teen Titans. If someone else wrote it, I don't know. It just was a little weird to have that, because I feel like this could be an ending where it's not talked about ever again. But then you're talking about such a big team like the Teen Titans that you're like, whoa, you want to buy the Teen Titans? And will this actually happen? Will this actually continue? So I thought it was a weird cliffhanger, but at least it's something to talk about, even for people that are not a Green Team fan. But overall, I thought it was an okay issue. I think the series is worth picking up, but in trade for a cheap price. So like you're at a con, which I'm sure this will be at a cheap price one day, and you're at maybe like the 50-cent bin, the dollar bin, you're like, oh look, the whole Green Team series is here, buy it then. I think it's worth buying just for a cheap price. But I liked it overall, I guess. I think what I gave this issue is really overall what I would give this series, probably like a 3.5. Like it's a little over, like I think you should pick it up because it's kind of interesting. I stuck through it and I paid the regular price, which I know it's probably going to be in the dollar bin next year, or like for Free Comic Book Day when they run out all the free comic books. They're like, Green Team, quick, let's just give these away. So I see that with this series because it was not a popular series. But maybe if this team becomes popular enough, which, you know, some advice for you guys, maybe if this team does become the new Teen Titans and it becomes popular, this might the series actually might go for some big bucks, so it might be rare to get it. So you might want to get it for that reason too, depending what this destiny for this team is, which I have no idea what it is. So we'll see what happens with that. But I thought it was an interesting enough issue. I'll give it a 3.5. Sorry I talked so much about the green team. Alright, next is number 11, which is a Dark Vegerick Exclusive. And that is The Flash, issue 27. I actually didn't expect to like this issue as much as I did, even though I didn't love this issue. I thought this was kind of good. And that's mostly for the story, because we get to see Barry, he gets a little closer to his mother's death. His father gets upset about it. He's like, oh, don't talk to me about it. And we learn that his, I guess, mentor, the head of the police, is actually had a relationship with his mom. So maybe, you know, this might be a little out there. I'm thinking maybe he could be the killer. That's why he didn't put Barry on the case. That could be interesting if he was the killer and his father wasn't. That's my guess. I see it happening, but you never know. But I like the story overall. Again, it's going more into Barry's mother's case, which I feel like is poked on, but not enough. I feel like we could have a story arc where it's not annoying. The one thing that made me dislike this issue was the art. I thought it was a little bit dark for Flash. It wasn't horrible, but just way too dark. I just don't think it really fit this series. It would fit a different series, just not the Flash. So I'm going to give this a 3.5. It's not the most amazing Flash issue I've ever read, but it was interesting enough to pick up, and overall I liked it, and the art was eh. So, number 10 we're up to, right? Let me just double check. Yes, we're up to number 10, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy, issue 11, and this is part 2 of Trials of Jean Grey, which is kind of weird to see this issue so low because All New X-Men part 1 of Trials of Jean Grey was actually my pick of the week last week. But this issue is pretty much the Guardians of the Galaxy's point of view of what happened with the All New X-Men last week. We get to see that Star-Lord's father wants to go against Jean Grey, put her on trial for all the bad things she's done, even though this Jean Grey hasn't done anything yet. So they were like, oh, let's get Jean Grey. So they actually do get Jean Grey in the end, and the Guardians of the Galaxy realize, wait, we're too late. So we see the point of view of the Guardians of the Galaxy with that ending. I thought this issue was okay. For someone that hasn't been reading Guardians of the Galaxy in a while, because the story didn't really progress that much, this was a great jumping on point because the story didn't progress that much. But I'm still looking forward to reading more Guardians of the Galaxy, see if I like the story with Trials of Jean Grey, maybe it'll go in a whole different direction, get some story arcs going on. But I liked it overall. I thought it was worth picking up. The art was really good. I had fun with it. But I can't say this was like the best issue of the week. It was just an okay issue this week. So I'm going to give it a 3.5. I was a little disappointed because I want a little bit more after getting that part 1 of All New X-Men, Trials of Jean Grey. I want a little bit more, but it was just okay. Especially if you're not a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, I don't think you need to pick this up. If you're only reading it for Jean Grey or All New X-Men, you really don't have to pick this up. But I give that 3.5. Now we're up to number 9, which is The Superior Spider-Man, issue 26. Yeah, I thought this was actually a really solid issue. Nothing that blew my mind. I thought the Superior team-up was a little better for a prelude. There's a lot of clutterness in this issue, a lot of things going on at once, which Superior Spider-Man tends to do at times. Actually, different artists in this issue also, so that also combined with all the craziness that's going on in this issue. But we get to see Hobgoblin against Green Goblin and the war against each other, like what's their identities. We find out the Hobgoblin that was actually there wasn't the original Hobgoblin, he was just an imposter, and the original Hobgoblin's working up a whole plan for Green Goblin, and there's a lot of clues in this issue that Norman Osborn is the true Green Goblin. I feel like it's 80% sure, because you never know with Dan Slott. He could be like, yeah, you know, Norman Osborn's the Green Goblin. Not trick you, he's actually not the Green Goblin, he's this guy. So you never know with that, but I did like that we got a little closer to the Green Goblin's identity in this issue. Also something I really enjoyed was Peter Parker being here and him not really knowing everything because his memories were taken away from him. I think that could be the twist, that he will have amnesia when he does come back. But he remembers the important things. He remembers his aunt giving him the Wheaties, pancakes, and all that. So we do get to see a little of that. And then the other story, Superior quits being the Avenger. So he's not fired, he just quits because he doesn't want them probing in his mind. So will we play the supporting characters being stupid again and have the Avengers be like, oh, who cares? Or will they actually try to investigate, being like, oh, why would he quit? So you never know what's going to happen with that. But yeah, overall I thought this was a solid issue. I liked stuff that happened a little bit too much. Maybe they could have canceled that one of the stories. Nothing too like, oh my god, this is Goblin Nation. But it was a pretty good setup. I'm going to give it 4 stars. But I do recommend Superior Spider-Man Team Up, which I did think was a little bit better of a prelude issue. I think we're up to number 8, which is actually a digital comic. Number 8 is Invincible, issue 108. Very solid issue also. I had a lot of fun with this one. We get to see Adam Eve and Invincible, they're fighting against each other because Invincible wants to get rid of this whole villain who's been abusing his family. He's like, I want to get rid of him. And Adam Eve is like, how about if you don't go back? I have a baby and this could happen. He's like, you know what? You didn't even fight all these strong people. That's why you're worried. So there is some big fighting here, throwing some words, and Adam Eve gets really pissed off. And Robot and Invincible go to the other dimension, and Robot actually tricks Invincible, and that's the big ending. He traps Invincible in this dimension, so the person he trusted is actually the true villain. I was shocked by that, and as a Invincible fan and been reading Invincible on and off, I was like, whoa, Robot did that? And there's a lot of gore in this issue too, so of course we have that gore that we love about Invincible. But yeah, shocking ending, which again, the series tends to do a lot, and I liked it. I thought it was good, very solid, nothing like too unbelievable. Again, because I wasn't a total Robot fan, but I think for Robot fans, they'll be like, oh my god, and how about Monster Girl? What's going on with her? Is she a villain too? So really looking forward to the next couple issues, especially 111, which I hear is going to be a humongous issue for Invincible. So glad that I've been picking up Invincible again. It's been pretty interesting. So I'll give that 4 stars. Let's see what we're up to next. We're up to number 7, which is a Dark Avengering exclusive, and that is Red Lanterns. Oh, one thing dropped. And that's Red Lanterns. So, fire, well, ice and I guess fire technically with Red Lantern, Guy Gardner. Now, Red Lanterns has been the best Lantern series in a while. I think this issue did justice again. You know, as you could tell, a lot of the Green Lantern series, for me, have been a lot on my bottom of my list, and Red Lanterns hasn't been my, like, oh my god, this is #1, pick of the week. But it's been a really solid Lantern book, and every issue I do enjoy, and there's something special about it. So with this issue, we get to see the Red Lanterns. They go back to Earth, because they're trying to find the person who got the ring, and you know, the two, I can't think of their names, because I just got into Red Lanterns, but I'll show you their faces. We got that big guy, this guy, and him. They're like, oh my god, what's Earth all about? And they look and be like, oh, let's just fight a supervillain and see what happens. So I had a lot of fun with them. We had a lot of fun with Guy trying to reunite with Ice, which I feel like Ice we haven't seen in a really long time. I want to say the last time we saw her was pre-2 with Just League International. I want to say that's the last time we saw her. I mean, maybe we saw her previously than that. I don't remember, and we also saw her, I want to say, in Birds of Prey, but really, it's been a while since we've seen her, so it's really cool to see that it's like, alright, I'll give you a chance, but not totally, I don't trust you, you still have anger issues. So, guys, like, I am a Red Lantern, I'm controlling my anger, please just come with me and I'll show you that. But now that Atrocitus has a ring, I don't know if Guy will totally control his anger. But yeah, I thought it was interesting to have Ice back. I haven't been a humongous Guy Gardner fan for a while, and I didn't know they were in a relationship, so I thought that was cool. And it was a fun issue. I gotta give it 4 stars. I had a lot of fun with it. Really good stuff. We knew Atrocitus had the ring. And there's just a lot of story arcs going in motion. This is the only Green Lantern series that has a lot of story arcs going in motion. There's something going on here. And I like that about Red Lanterns. They have a plan, they're doing it. And yeah, Charles Soule has been doing a great job this year. Superman, Wonder Woman, Red Lanterns. He's going to be doing She-Hulk soon. So looking forward to more with Charles Soule because he's been doing a great job with Red Lanterns. Alright, Alright, what are we up to next? Number 6, which is Dark Vegerick Exclusive, and that is Trish Out of Water, issue 4. yeah, so that's a Dark Vegerick Exclusive digital comic, and thought this was another really solid issue also. I gave it a 4 stars, and I found out this is only a mini-series. I was upset about that. Next issue is the last issue, and I was like, I've been really liking this series. It's like my first Aspen comic series, and I really enjoyed it totally, and I like the character. And with this issue, I only gave it a 4. I would have given it higher, but not a lot's going on. It's really A to B type issue. We can see a little bit more of Trish's friend. She runs into the captain of the police, and we find out that she's part of the whole water creatures, and they're trying to fight some people that are already on land trying to get Trish. And then Trish finds about her underwater kingdom with her father and you know, explores where she was from. So a lot of fun. I love the art for the series, and I just love the direction of the series and how much fun this series really is. And I like Trish's character. I like all the characters here, so it's going to be sad to see the next issue be its last. Looking forward to seeing what they do with the character, though, and hopefully I will follow her wherever the series goes. I don't know if I'll pick up Fathom or not, because I haven't been reading that series, but I have a feeling that's probably the direction she will go in. But yeah, maybe she'll get another miniseries, who knows. But I really liked it. I gotta give it 4 stars. Really sad that this series will be coming to a close. Alright, next is number 5, which is Batman and Robin, issue 2. So yeah, this is a surprise issue that's so high in my top 5 this week. Because Batman and Robin actually dropped. Yeah, I dropped it with the Two-Face story arc. I just didn't really like it. But I decided with Batman and Robin, I didn't totally drop it. But if I see a character I really like that he's teaming up with, like this surprise Batman and Robin annual, I'll be like, alright, let me pick it up. So that's what I'm going to be doing with Batman and Robin now. But totally skipping that Two-Face one because I just haven't been really enjoying it that much. This is a really great surprise for me because we finally get to see Robin before he was Nightwing, and I'm pretty sure we haven't seen that with the New 52, or at least recently we haven't seen it. So it's really cool that we get to see that. In this issue we get to see a really fun story of how he convinced Batman that he could be in combat with him and really be a partner with him. And then we get to see a little mix of Damian in this issue also, so a sprinkle of Damian. So of course if you love Damian, you're going to pick up the series, because I do love sprinkling Damian in what used to be his own series. So I liked it. It was a really fun issue. It was worth the $5, and usually these type of annuals is like, I don't know if it's really worth it. But this month, I gotta say there was actually some really good annuals this week that were worth it, and as you can see, there's actually a couple annuals I haven't mentioned yet, because maybe they're higher on the list. But yeah, great issue, and pick it up. Solid issue. Art was good. Story was really fun, and if you want to see Dick as Robin, if you're a fan of Dick Grayson Damian, I totally recommend this. It was a real fun issue. So I'm going to give that 4 stars. Alright, number 4 is the digital comic Furious, issue 1, which is from Dark Horse, and I really like this issue. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I gave this a 4.5 this week. When I first read it, I thought this was going to be my pick of the week, but I had other issues that did go ahead of it once I started reading, but really, really good issue this week, because I didn't know anything about this series, and I saw, it's like, oh cool, this celebrity wants to be a superhero, and we learned a lot about this hero in this one issue, and really the only reason I didn't give it 5 stars was because there is some confusion of who exactly she is in this issue. It's like, is she a celebrity? Is she not? Like, they should have dug a little bit more past, like, an Arrow style in this issue. I felt like they could have done this with this series, because it is a little confusing who she is. But I think as the series goes on, we'll learn who she is. But really, it's about this girl who wants redemption. She has superpowers. We don't know how. Hopefully, we'll learn. People don't like her because she is fighting crime. She's the only superhero around. Then people keep talking about the celebrity who killed her father, and it seems like this is the same girl, and we realize that towards the end of the issue. The art fits perfectly for this series, and I love how unique this series really is, so I'm looking forward to this. I think this could be a Dark Horse of a series, get it? Because it's from Dark Horse? Yeah. Okay, but that was number 4, so I actually really recommend that series. Really enjoyed it. I think you should definitely give it a try. Alright, number 3 is Cataclysm, issue 4 of the actual Cataclysm book, The Ultimate's Last Stand. let me just say with this top 3, it's really hard to pick of the week because all 3 of these issues were amazing. I love them. And last week I didn't really say that because last week there were issues that never really popped out of me saying, oh, this is pick of the week. But these 3 issues felt like pick of the week to me, and either of these issues could have been pick of the week. But with this issue, we get to see Kitty. She's the main focus in this issue. Of course, I'm a humongous Kitty Pryde fan, so that bumps it up a star. But yeah, we get to see Kitty is actually a main focus in this issue, and she might be the savior of the Ultimate Universe because they realize that if they grow her as like, we have the Ant-Man, his Pym particles, we could see her grow. So it's like, alright, we'll use this. I don't know if you're going to survive or not. We'll use this, make you grow. You phase through him. You can slap him for us if you want. And you can save the universe. And Kitty's like, alright. And Iron Man says, this is a very dangerous job. You might not come back alive, which she probably does because she's an all-new Ultimate, just saying. But yeah, so we get to see her sacrifice herself for humans again after people disrespect mutants. And maybe after this, Kitty Pryde being the leader and the public figure that defeats Galactus, this might do very well for the mutants, especially since that's what Ultimate X-Men was really about, was the politics side of X-Men and, people looking at mutants. So it'll be interesting if Kitty Pryde is the figure that shows to save the Ultimate Universe and how that'll change for mutants. But love this issue. I think the only complaint I had was really, and why it wasn't pick of the week, was because this guy over here was blacked out in the solicits, and everyone's making big deals like this person must die. And obviously it's Captain America, but he doesn't die. And if he does, it's very cluttered in the end. Action's a little bit too much in the end because he's running an airplane into Galactus to try to get Kitty Pryde to do what she's got to do in the next issue. So we don't know if he died, and if he did, then everyone on the ship died. So I was a little confused by that. It's like, why have him blacked out on the cover if he wasn't gonna die? And if he did die, it doesn't seem like he died in the end of the issue. So that was really my only complaint about this issue, but otherwise, this was a really good issue. Good art, great story, and really love the direction this series is going in. And probably the best Marvel event in a really long time. Don't want to jinx it, but if issue 5 is as good as the series has been, it will be the best Marvel event in a really long time. It may be the best Marvel event of 2014, but I don't want to call that yet since 2014 just began. But I'm going to give this 4.5, and this is number 3 on my list. Alright, number 2. Now, this has been a really hard decision for me for number 2 and number 1, because both these issues were great in a different way. And it was, again, really hard to pick number 2, but number 2 was Smallville Titans issue 4, a series I really have been waiting for. I heard from Jay, who reads Smallville digitally and gets a printed comic. He said this is just like Young Justice and pre-Teen Titans, pre-New 52 Teen Titans put together into one series. And yeah, if you love the Young Justice cartoon and pre-New 52 Teen Titans, you'll love this. It was so good. Honestly, the only reason I didn't put it as pick of the week was because the art was a little dark for the series. And for my number 1 pick, the story was great in a different way, and the art was a little better. So I had to give this number 2 respectively, but I love this issue, and I really hope you guys know that, because this issue was great. We had a great roster. Mia Dearden is back, one of my favorite heroes, which we haven't seen in the New 52. I don't think we'll ever see in the New 52, or at least recently, because she is a character that not a lot of people even knew beforehand. But having her here was really cool to see, again, just as a big Mia Dearden fan. And then we had Miss Martian, Superboy, the Wonder Twins, but Blue Beetle, if you miss him, and a lot of the personalities here fit different things. Like Mia Dearden's personality, I would say, is a pre-New 52 personality combined with her Smallville personality, which is great. The Wonder Twins was very Smallville. Blue Beetle felt very Young Justice to me, very Young Justice, and I guess pre-New 52 also, so that was great for Jaime. Superboy and Miss Martian was total Young Justice. They're actually in a relationship in this issue, so if you're a Young Justice fan, there's some great hints here. A very good tone also to this book, like a Young Justice book, or a Young Justice TV show. Even Jake Garrick is the mentor for all of them. We had the mentor, which I felt was very important because that's how the Young Justice feel also. But the story is actually about Rose, you know, from the Teen Titans. Deathstroke's daughter comes and wants to kill everybody. We see the Titans work together and see if they can work together to defeat Rose and what will happen after that. There's only really a connection to Smallville Season 11 a little towards the end, where Superman comes to Connor just saying, I'm going to reveal my, Superman revealing that he's an alien. So he just wanted to say that to Connor. But other than that, there's not really a big Smallville connection, so you don't have to pick it up for Smallville Season 11. But I recommend this issue because it was so well written. I loved really the way how this group came together. It felt like old Teen Titans, but was a new roster, was a new look at these characters. But it felt so right here. It felt not like the stupid Teen Titans begin with the new 52. But great. I love the characters here. And again, the only downfall was the art, so I couldn't give it a perfect score. I had to give it a 4.5 because, yeah, the art is a little dark. You couldn't see the action as much. So that is why it is number 2 on my list, but such a good issue. Pick this up if you're a Young Justice fan, a Teen Titans fan. You don't even have to be a Smallville fan. Pick this up, though. It's a very good issue. Alright, number 1. What beat Smallville Titans is Earth 2 Annual Issue 2. I'm so surprised by this, because I don't think Earth 2's ever been my pick of the week. But I've been enjoying Tom Taylor's writing since Injustice, and I think he totally shows it here. Even though, I'm going to say I already knew who Batman was. It was spoiled, because, honestly, DC spoiled it with their action figures. They were like, yes, Thomas Wayne, which is Batman, if you haven't read it, is the new Batman. So I was like, oh, really? That was a little bit of a spoiler. Everyone found out in the end anyways, so we actually find out here, truthfully, that Thomas Wayne is Batman. And even though I already knew that, this issue was so good. I was really glued to my seat, I guess, to really read this issue. And I was like, wow. And, you know, a lot of the annuals this week, you know, Smallville Special, Earth 2, Batman and Robin, since they were longer, I didn't feel like they were longer. I wanted more. And that is great with an annual. Some annuals could be very lengthy and just like, kind of want this to be over, and these 3 annuals didn't feel that way, and I'm really glad I didn't pick up Green Lantern Corps, because I'm sure it would have felt that way. Now, honestly, I'm really glad that I picked up Earth 2, because it was just a great story. It was a one-shot type story, and by the end, you're just like, totally understand why Thomas Wayne's Batman, because it was a symbol of him wanting to be kind of accepted by Bruce, because he left Bruce, he didn't tell that he wasn't dead, he was addicted to drugs, and we get to see that Bruce's parents weren't as great as we all thought they were. They didn't die innocent, which Bruce always thought, and it was cool to see that Thomas Wayne actually saw his life, just like kind of hid him, but saw his life, saw Helena born. So a lot of that was great. The art was great here too, and I just love this story. It was really good and makes me want to read more about Batman. And I'm looking forward to more of Earth 2. I think Tom Taylor's doing such a great job with this series. It's such an improvement to this series. I never thought Earth 2 would be my pick of the week. But yeah, this is definitely my pick of the week. It was, again, really close to Cataclysm Ultimate United Last Stand, whatever it's called, Ultimate's Last Stand, and Smallville Season 11 Special Issue 4, and those 3 were really close because they were all very good, but for the 2, you know, my number 3 and number 2, they did have some faults, and I didn't see any faults with Earth 2 Annual. I was trying to look for them, but I didn't really see them. I really enjoyed this, so I'm going to give this 5 stars, and guys, tell me in the comments below what was your pick of the week, worst pick of the week, what comics you liked this week, and this is Comic Uno, and guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and their end situations. And guys, don't forget to watch Comic Uno episode 24 on Comic Frontline next week. Subscribe to Comic Frontline if you're not already subscribed. This is Comic Uno, and guys, see you guys later. Bye.